Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you how to make mushroom cap pizzas. It's a good little snack or a meal depending on how many of them you eat. You know, it's good if you like pizzas and you like mushrooms. This is not a pizza substitute. If you really want pizza, go eat a pizza because this isn't that. It's pretty good by itself for what it is. We got a very simple list of ingredients. You just got some Portobello mushroom caps. You're going to need some grated cheese. I'm using the Parmigiano Romano. I like that as my base. You don't need it, but that's just how I make them personally. You need some shredded mozzarella, and you need your red sauce. I'm just using the store-bought today. Usually I'd be using one that I cook some meatballs or sausage in for about an hour, let that simmer and get the juices and flavor all in, but we are on a diet right now. So I don't have any of that just sitting around because pasta isn't exactly a diet food unless you eat like 2 of them. Alright, for anyone who's not preparatorily inclined, this is a really easy process. First thing you gotta do is go set your oven to 375 to preheat because those take a little while. Second thing we're gonna do, so we don't need the stem in here, so you can just take that right out. It just kind of pops out. I got a little bowl here for my leavings. And then we're gonna scrape out the gills. The gills are edible, and depending on what other dishes you're making with a portobello, you can leave them. Some people like to scrape them out because they can kind of turn to mush and make whatever the main dishes that you're making look kind of brown and goopy. But for our purposes, we're taking them out because we need the space. I'm not particularly good at scraping these out without accidentally kind of ripping through the edges, but that is the goal. So we're just gonna skip ahead while I do these 3 because I didn't prep anything ahead of time. So now that we gutted those shrooms, they're gonna go into the 375 in the middle rack for about 5 minutes. Alright, we got the mushrooms out of the oven. The reason you pre-bake them a little bit is to help draw some of the moisture out so they don't end up mushy and gooey after you add everything to it and put them back in for the real bake. So now we're going to stuff these caps. It's a real simple process. Boop. Goes sauce. If I didn't say you draw out the moisture, you gotta dab it up with paper towels. Mine didn't have a lot, so I don't really have much to show you there. Spoon some sauce. This is all to taste. I don't have measurements. I personally like a bunch of sauce. You don't want so much that's gonna goop all over. Hey! A little bit of foil sauce. I didn't mention it specifically. You can see I did. Put foil on the baking pan before I put it in the oven. So we're doing sauce. Sprinkle some Romano. It's a hands-on thing. Oop, that's a bit too much. Don't do like that. Do more like this. Just a little bit of the base. If there's any other toppings you personally like, sausage, pepperoni, anything, go ahead and throw it on there. It's time. Man, I did rip across, but it did not puncture the seal. That's why the pros always have this shit done ahead of time. I'm not getting paid. I'm not professional. I'm an amateur pizza cook, but I eat it like it's my job. Now just sprinkle the cheese. Light sprinkling. It's going back in the oven for 20 minutes. All right, we're gonna let those bad boys bake. We'll be back after a word from our sponsor.
There's 2 types of people in this world, monsters and animal lovers. If you're like me, you wish you could see your little hair goblin at any given moment. But installing home surveillance systems is both expensive as well as an open invitation for the deep state's greasy tentacles to invade your privacy. What you need is a pet portrait by Shutterface Photography. Distract yourself from the soul-crushing monotony of your 7 to 5:30 office job with a puppy print. Adorn your wallet with a tiny photo of your prissy-pawed princess to remind yourself that Muffin's special orthopedic cat food won't pay for itself, so maybe now isn't the time for a full refill of your very necessary prescriptions. Reservations are filling up quickly. To commission your session, whisper your availability into a mason jar and bury it in the empty lot across from the downtown Eckards. Shutterface Photography, because your face will look its best when viewed through my lens.
Hey, we're back. Mushrooms are out of the oven. Just a word of advice, if you don't cook often, everybody's oven is different. I took mine out after 18 minutes instead of the full 20 because they look like they were done. You can just keep an eye on things until you kind of get a feel for how your equipment works. See, we got some nice little brown tops. It's all looking kind of good. It's a little gooey down there. So I'm gonna cut into those. You can cut into yours, and everyone have a nice day. Bon appetit.